So Janet, I was wondering if you had any experience previously with breath work. Have you done anything at all with the breath work practices?
Well, with Tony's breath work with
Yeah.
the legendary, that was probably my most extensive. We did like a 30-minute one time or something like that. It was like, I don't know, maybe it was even more than that, but it seemed like a lot. But
Yeah.
it was really good. So and I do Wim Hof once in a while. I love box breath. Um, I listened to you and the one of the calls recently, and I really love that.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah.
Okay, you were on the Asia Pacific call where we did the first of the 8 key breaths that we're going to
Is it
be. I
is it
think.
possible that the European call?
Oh yeah, the European. Yeah, the
Yeah.
European call. Yeah. All right. So this is, I have been practicing this breath work. I found it after I went through stage 4 blood cancer and was, really at a very low point health wise in my life, and ended up finding this work that was passed down from master to student for thousands of years from Tibet. And so when I began practicing this particular series of the 8 key breaths that I'm going to teach today is a systematic process of really getting anything up and out of your system that isn't serving you mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and then making room for more light and life and vibrant health and energy, things like that. So, and Mindy is my sister. She's been practicing with me online since I started teaching online it's been over a couple years now. And she definitely, it activates the fire inside you. And so I can see that her fire has been lit, and she's, yeah, it's really exciting to watch when people practice regularly. And then, it'll activate your creative impulses. And, just like the Siddha Veda work too, it's another ancient lineage of work that really, can activate our highest potential as a human being. So it's very exciting in that way. And the sorry, I'm just checking my notes here. I wanted to wait and see if anyone else comes in before I get into the whole history, but I guess I can just do it. So today I'm just going to demonstrate these 8 key breaths one at a time. I'll demonstrate it, we'll practice it. And then just like on the European call, each of the breaths has its own specific affirmation that I'll say at the end of the breath when you're sitting there with your eyes closed. So Science of Mental Physics is a science of feeling. It is a multi-denominational philosophy of thought that will help you understand your own beliefs and, deeper and deeper, and also have a greater understanding of the holy books of the world. So you can believe any which way, you can belong to any religion, and this will just help you to go deeper within that understanding and wisdom within you. And the teachings were brought forth by a man named Edwin Dingle. He was an Englishman that had ended up in Asia for 21 years in the Orient. He studied and met different master teachers and studied these really deep teachings where even the farther it goes on, like I'm just teaching you the basics of the very beginning part of it. And there are actually years of study, of spiritual study that goes along with this, that he brought back to the West. So when he ended up in the monastery, and he had a really rough time of it, he almost died several times on his journey. He had malaria, he was attacked by tigers, like all these different things. Ended up at the monastery when he was near death, and they said, welcome back, we've been waiting for you, because they knew when he had passed the Lama test, that they knew when this Western man came back to the monastery that it would be time to send the teachings to the West. And so Edwin Dingle, who they renamed Ding Lamay, which means great man, created the Science of Mentalphysics and brought this to Los Angeles actually first in New York and then in Los Angeles in 1927. And then ultimately he founded the Institute of Mental Physics out here in the Mojave Desert in Joshua Tree, where I live. And that's when I found it. So, and in its heyday, I mean, there were 300,000 students practicing it. There was all conventions happening and all kinds of things going on. And many different people had like little offshoots of it have gone to multiple other countries and teach the work. So in India, it's called Brahma Vidya, and it means the science of the knowledge of the divine. So this will help you access the divine within you. And then that turns on all kinds of other, what people can consider like extrasensory perceptions and things like that. They're just muscles that we can build and develop in our body. And the breath work, any kind of breath work, but all the breath work really helps to activate, our highest potential. And so why don't we take a few minutes and just get centered inside ourselves. And I'm going to say a couple little prayers to bring us in into the circle together. These are some of the mental physics prayers that we teach. So just sit quietly with your back straight, thinking upward to the top of your head. And we just give so much thanks for being able to be here together in this way, learning something new. And we ask that our minds be open and sharp and clear, like a sponge, to absorb this new information and wisdom and understanding. We give thanks for the master teachers who have come before us and continued this ancient lineage of wisdom. Thank you. Almighty and eternal fount of wisdom, grant us that knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, that we may speak here words of truth, love, and hope. We ask for light from the higher spheres, and may our guides guard and control our mind and tongue, so that nothing but the truth may here be given, and that the good seed sown may find fertile spots to live and grow, and those who are now in darkness and obscurity, may they be brought forth into the radiant sunshine, the joyous glory of the unfoldment of true spiritual goodness. And now, as we feel ourselves together in the spirit, we imagine a great wall of golden light about us. Nothing can penetrate or pierce this light, as it holds us protectingly in its own essence. Above us, the higher ones in the great hierarchy of universal wisdom, holding over us a gossamer substance which forms a panoply under which we rest together in the great peace. Within the circle, there is wisdom. Below the circle, there is love. God is love. And now, in mental physics, we breathe through the nose. There are filters in the nose that sort things out for your brain. And we want to push that air when we breathe through our nose all the way deep down into our low belly first. So you can put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and you can kind of practice. When you breathe in, your bottom hand should rise first, and then your upper hand, and then you'll breathe all the way up into your throat. And I'll say big sniff, and you just fill your entire body cavity with air. And then most of the breathings will be holding our breath for a period of time and keeping tension in our bodies before we relax completely exhaling everything out. To begin to get balanced right now, before we get into the 8 key breaths, we're going to do the alternate nostril breathing, which is very popular in many, yoga traditions. And this breath balances the hemispheres of your brain. It's called the harmonic or balancing breath. And when you're plugging your right nostril and you're inhaling through the left, you're actually inhaling cooling lunar energy that goes up and around and down your spine. This corresponds to your circulatory system. And then when you're inhaling through the right, that corresponds to the nervous system, you're breathing it all the way in, up and around and down your spine in a circular motion. So people's nostrils will change throughout the day, like every hour or two. One will be bigger than the other slightly. And this is a sign of good health. It's a healthy person will have this happen. And when you're getting more air through your left nostril, you're actually getting more of this lunar cooling energy for your circulatory system. So if that one is more open, you're going to feel a little more lethargic. And if your right nostril is more open, you might feel a little more anxious, since that corresponds to your nervous system. So the idea is to do the alternate nostril breathing so that you can balance the hemispheres of your brain. And I love doing this one just with one hand, like if I'm driving in LA traffic or something, just helps me stay super calm. But when I'm going to teach it to you today, we're going to use both of our thumbs, and the thumbs correspond to the lung meridians. So you'll place your right thumb on your right nostril, and in mental physics, the inhale is for 4, the hold is for 16, and then we unplug the opposite nostril and exhale for 8. So breathing in through the left nostril for 4, holding for 16, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, unplugging the right, exhaling 8. And then through that same nostril, inhale 4, hold for 16, unplug the left, exhaling 8. And one more cycle. Inhale for 4. Hold 16. And unplug the right and exhale 8. And last time, inhale 4. Hold 16. And unplug and exhale for 8. So what we did there was 2 cycles, which equals one of the breathings, just one breath. So you might want to get blow your nose if you haven't done that already, just to prepare for the next breath. I'm going to actually go grab a Kleenex. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to play a quick video, 3-minute video about Dingle, just to give you an idea of who he was and his journey, and then we will get into the breath work. So let me pull this up, and I'll share my screen.
Edwin John Dingle, known as Dingle to over 220,000 students of the Science of Mentalphysics, was born in England in 1881. He became a journalist and established a publishing empire in Hong Kong and Shanghai. On a mapping expedition across China for Sun Yat-sen in the early 1900s, he walked across China and into Tibet. In his quest for spiritual knowledge, he became one of the first Westerners to enter Tibet and study in a Tibetan monastery, where he was recognized as a highly evolved soul. Upon his return to the West, he began sharing the teachings and practices he had learned in Tibet, first in New York and later in Los Angeles, California, where he began the Institute of Mental Physics in 1927. In 1941, the Mental Physics Spiritual Teaching and Retreat Center was dedicated in Yucca Valley, now Joshua Tree. Frank Lloyd Wright designed Dr. Dingle's home and the Caravansary, a 700-foot-long structure with motel-style rooms and a meeting hall. His son Lloyd Wright completed the buildings. Dingle May passed from this life in 1972.
Okay, so are you guys able to see my screen still or no? No, okay. So in his lineage as well, these people lived to be like well into their 300s, and they worked on the land and they had abundant health and by practicing this breath work. And when they got deeper into the teachings, the monks would actually bury themselves in sand, like bury their heads in sand and breathe through the pores of their skin. They learned all of these amazing techniques. And how they were able to do this is because there exists in the air a substance that is, in the air, but it is not the air, and it's prana. It is, chi, life force, energy. And so there's a story that has been passed down in the work of one of the mental physics reverends who had studied for a while, and he was in a submarine that had the air had gotten cut, the air hose, and he was with two other men and he was trying to teach them how to breathe. And they panicked, and died. And he was able to live for like 3 days without oxygen. So that's very interesting. It just shows that there's more than what we know about our life force energy. And so, even I've always thought about how little of our brain that most people use. So what is the rest of it for? There's probably a lot of potential that we have that we just don't even know of yet. So we'll get into the breath work. I'm going to give you a few pointers. So Janet, I'm glad you did that, the memory developing breath. I'll just go over the pointers quickly. The secret switch, which is placing our tongue on the roof of our mouth, and that signals to the body, to the nervous system, to just relax right down. And so most of the breaths we're doing, we're going to be holding these really tense positions. And then on the other side of it, when we exhale, we're still keeping that tension through the exhale. And then we want to relax completely right down. So all of that breath and energy and prana that we've just breathed can get into our body and our cells and activate them. Okay, so then there is the thought, which is just gratitude for the breath of life, the breath without which there is no life. So we say, Dingle May says, I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. So you can say it however you want. Thank you, God. Thank you, creative spirit. Of course, the idea is just to be present in that one moment into gratitude for our breath. How we inhale is through the nose. And the exhale is kind of like a forceful exhale. So our tongue that is trying to get used to staying on the roof of the mouth flops down a bit. And it's like a CH sound, forceful exhale. So inhale deep down into the belly. And then so your belly should go first. The same way the breath comes in, it should exhale out of the body. And then you might hear me say, lock it up. And that just means to swallow, to send the signal to your body to just put that, to make it your own, to make that breath your own and to solidify it into your body and your cells. I think that's it. So the first breath that we're going to practice, the first breath of the 8 key breaths, is the memory developing breath. And as I mentioned, when we did this before, it'll no doubt help your memory because you get so much oxygen, but it is to help you remember who you are and what your purpose is on the planet. So this breath, I would recommend, especially if you're new to the breath work, to practice this one often. So this is one of those that is designed to just bring up anything that is no longer serving you or that just doesn't belong in there anymore, to get that up and out, to make room for more light and life in your body. And so when you're doing these breaths, things could arise, old memories, thoughts, feelings, even throughout this next week or two, things could start to come up. It's like kind of, having I get a vision right now of like a jar with, herbs or sand or something in the bottom where the water is very still, but then you shake it up and there's all these particles floating around. So we're kind of shaking up, activating what's inside us so we can get it out and make room. So for this one, just for anybody who might watch the video in the future who's not able to attend today, this one reminds me of the old water pumps where you would pump the handle several times to get the water flowing, and then when you stop pumping, that water just starts to move. So our bodies are like that pump, and I'll demonstrate what it looks like, and then we can get into it. This breath ignites the 49 fires in the body. All the chakra systems, the energy systems of your body get activated with this breath. It's done in 3 sets of 14 and then a final triumphant 7. So this one's the only one done sitting of the 8 key breaths, and it's starting with the palms downward. And in all the breaths, we want to have our heels touching. This creates the 7-fold position, like if you were sitting in, Indian style for meditation. It's an electrical connection that you make with your heels touching. So our heels will be touching in all of the breaths. So just to demonstrate, hands downward. After we do each of the breaths, you will keep your eyes closed in meditation for the affirmation that I will say. And just a reminder that Science of Mental Physics is a science of feeling. So after we activate all this energy and prana and life in our body and do each of the breaths, you want to just observe, just be aware of what's going on inside your body. Where is this air going? What's it doing? Mixing and melding in your body. Just notice and feel into it and see if there's any sensations that are occurring in your body. You might feel hot or cold or tingly or light or heavy. Like just everything is okay. Just watch. Okay. So after each set of 14, I'll say rest. And during those times, you'll observe inside yourself. And then, so we'll do the 3 sets and then the final 7. Any questions about this before we do it? Okay. So here we go, palms facing downward. I'm going to just show you what it looks like. So we'll exhale together to get ready and make room. And then up. Like that. And go easy on your neck. It's a gentle movement, not all the way back, just a gentle movement. Okay, and remembering to pull that secret switch, placing the tongue on the roof of your mouth, letting your nervous system relax. And now the thought, I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. And now all together, we get ready, we exhale, squeezing all that old air out, and up, up, One more. Squeezing all that old air out. Now just resting and watching. Just observing. And now 2 more 7s. Together we exhale, bringing our head forward. And up. One more. And resting. Feeling. And now our third set of 14. Together we exhale. And up. One more. Squeezing all the old air out. Little breath and relaxing and watching. Relaxing. Feeling. And now for our final triumphant 7, giving it your very best. Together we exhale. And up. Last one. And now relaxing, turning your palms upward, relaxing inside yourself. Feeling completely relaxed. And now I imagine that great light at the top of my head. The top of my head is heavy and relaxed. My forehead is heavy. The eyes are relaxed. The muscles of my face are withdrawn. The jaw gently drops. No pressure on the teeth. The tongue relaxes. My arms and hands are very heavy. But oh, how happy I feel. I feel happy all over, particularly in my beautiful face. My face is bathed in my smiles. My whole body is bathed in the blushes of my smiles. I feel a gentle pressure from within outward. And this gentle pressure is taking away any little lines of fear, worry, inward disappointment, fear, anything negative. And I feel happy all over. And now I bring that light down The chest is relaxed. The abdomen falls down and light comes down, down, down to the tips of my toes. And now I bring that light down. The chest is relaxed. And I imagine that light at the back of my neck. I'm looking down over my beautiful spine. It seems as if I am looking at a wonderful waterfall with the sunshine playing on it, so that I see a countless number of tiny specks of iridescent light, light, light. And I know my whole body to be full of light. If thine eye is single, the single eye, the inner eye, the creative eye, the eternal eye, the eye of my imagination, the eye that I am now using. If my eye is single, my whole body is full of light. And I know that every cell in that countless, countless number of cells in my body is a light, a lamp, a torch, bringing to me the light of the divine wisdom within me. The light being in perfect correspondence with the flame. And the flame is in perfect correspondence with the fire, the fire that is in the center of centers of centers of my inmost being. The fire of divine love within me, within me. And so, feeling heavy, imagining that I'm looking upward to the top of my head, giving thanks, imagining a great, great golden shower of light going out in all directions. I take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh. And I swallow, I lock it up as I take another little breath and a quick sigh. And I wake up quietly. All right. Any questions about that breath?
Is it okay that I fell asleep a little bit?
In
I was just
the meditation,
relaxing.
yeah, absolutely. And equally as important to the tension that we hold and the things that we do when we're breathing the breath, the relaxation is equally as important. That is what allows that breath and that energy, that prana, to move throughout our body. So anything that happens is okay, Janet.
So Jody,
yeah.
this first breath is about, can you tell us more about like how it awakens like our soul's purpose? Can you speak more to like that?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. So it's not only designed to get all the stuff up and out of your body that's blocking you, traumas and old, just thought patterns and things. What he says is there is only one law, and that is the law of life. Everything else, all negation, is of your mind. So, and with many of these breaths and the affirmations and things, what we're doing is we're building into our consciousness these things that we are choosing to build into our consciousness, as we are letting go of these old patterns that we might not even be aware of, that are blocking our true potential, right? That come from childhood, even, or even from another lifetime, all the way back, anything that is hindering our progress. So yes, it is to awaken all the energy centers of your body, clean it out, and then help you awaken to your purpose on the planet, and get more and more clear as time goes on what you are meant to be doing here in this time and space. So Mindy, I don't know if that answered your question, or do you want to add anything about that? About what you've noticed, Mindy, about doing this breath?
Well, it's just, I guess it's just, I don't know. I guess I feel really called to that. It's wakening up, the life force in me. And I just, I don't know. I definitely resonate with anything that is not of love. It really, it welcomes it in a loving way to be cleared out and loved on. So, but yeah, I was just kind of wondering more if there's more of what Dingle might have said about our life force. Or I mean, I'm reading the books that you have, so I just love this so much. I really, really honestly do. And I guess I'm just ready to dive more. I've been doing this for almost 2.5 years, and it's just so exciting. It really, I feel so called to it, and I just love it so much. So.
Well, thank you, Mindy, for keeping me going. And I'm proud of you for doing it this long. And I've definitely witnessed a lot of changes in you as from where you began until now. And I have witnessed lots of healing and shifts in people over the years. I've been doing the work for almost 14 years and witnessed a lot of different, quote, miraculous healings from all different kinds of things. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So it's like an inner adventure. That's how I've always looked at it. And one thing I really love about it too is Dingle says, you're your own best teacher. You are really your own guru. And that what this work does is help us access that place where all the answers reside, where all the knowledge is that we can access within ourselves. And like Mindy said, anything that is not love, it can fall away, right? Janet, you have something else you want to say?
Well, I was just going to ask, so when we're doing these breaths, can you tell us like how often we're supposed to be doing them? Like, do you want us to do like all of like 8 key breaths at one time, or you know what I mean? Just so we kind of know.
Yeah, ultimately, it is great to go through all 8 key breaths. And actually, right after this class, we get on every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific and do like a 45-minute straight through, usually with the voice of Dingle. And but I would say if you're brand new to it, because these breaths are actually introduced in the first course called the Initiate Group course, which is 26 lessons, and the basic spiritual principles that, and along with these breaths. And so I would say to start, just like work with this one for a week or two, so that you can kind of understand what each of these breaths does. And then, yes, whenever you're called to it, we'll go through all 8 of them. But just, and that being said, breath work is extremely powerful. And so monitor yourself. Like if at any point during the class today, you're feeling lightheaded or whatever, usually because I still sometimes will get that way. It's like if you're doing yoga, some days you can stand on one leg for forever, and some days you can't even balance. It just depends on the day. So I would say just practice this one to see what it does for a while, and then you can add the next one, kind of cumulatively add them on as we go through. But just experiment. That's what, the science part of this is, experimenting with your body, your mechanism, your breath, the breath of life, So there is no right or wrong, but you can do it too much. Like if you were to do all 8 key breaths multiple times a day, you could actually cause, it could be too much in the for sure. So I would go easy. You have it's a whole lifelong practice, and it just gets deeper over time, Mindy, you have anything you want to say about that, since you've been?
Well, I think it's real. I think it's really good to do, once a week. I mean, Jody has it established already every Wednesday at 11 Pacific to come on and try to do it with us. But I mean, I have an app that I'm trying to get, anyone that's already done this class to come together and practice just sporadically whenever we can. I've been trying to do it, twice a week or 3 times a week. And sometimes I get 4 a week, and some days I just do Wednesdays. So it really just depends. I think if you just set your standards of just trying to do once a week, I think that's a really good goal. And then you add on as you can. And I think it's also really good to mention that you don't have to do all 8. So like all 8 sometimes is, a half an hour to an hour, depending on which, how fast we go through the video or how fast Jody leads us through it. But you can do just like one breath, right? You can just do the one we just did, and you're going to benefit so much from it. That it doesn't have to be all 8. It can just be 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever you have time for. You can do it with the affirmations. You can do it without the affirmations. You can do just the affirmations. I think any of it, to just start submerging yourself into the language and to start to really open your mind up to hear these suggestions about we're whole and complete and nothing is lacking. To hear that over and over is so good for me. To hear that, I have this, my cells are activating and working for me, as much as I can hear that, my soul needs it, so it's just a practice, and it's just getting started and just trying, just do it.
I think many of us in life, we get caught up even in subconscious negation in our mind. Like we don't even know that we're saying oh, my darn knee or my back, or this is wrong or that's wrong. We have to be very conscious about those thoughts that we're thinking that are just running wild in there. And one of the ways to help that I've learned is, well, I always relate it to this one time when I went to see a nutritionist, and I thought she was going to say for sure, okay, stop eating sugar and don't eat this and don't do that. She didn't. She said, okay, for this first chunk, all I want you to do is add vegetables and then add vegetables. And I was like, that's it. She said, yeah, because then the stuff that's no longer good for you, once you're getting nutrition, it begins to fall away. So it's the same kind of thing. Once you start with these deliberate, conscious thoughts that we're programming into our mind, and this next affirmation is going to be the 9 positives of the science of mental physics. You can adjust these to suit you as well. There's nothing set in stone here. I just teach it the way Dingle taught it. Honestly, if we were going to do a full, real masterclass, you're looking at a good several years, because there's a lot of work. But the reason that I do this is because in today's day and age, we need this. People are suffering. And even if you just did the breath work, like Mindy said, once a month or 1 breath a day or something, you're going to start to activate, your own cells and your own fire within you and everything. And it just grows from there. So it's a process of the breath work, activating our cells, the light, life, and health within us, and then deliberately choosing thoughts that serve us, that will eventually then push out these negations that are in our mind, the things that we tell ourselves that don't serve us, right? That's so, and we all have a bunch of those that exist in there, whether we're aware of it or not, from other people and just life itself, it building up, So we're going to get into the second breath, this one, and all the breaths here are from here on out are done standing. And the position for all the breaths is very similar now, which is heels touching, knees are snapped back, your spine is totally straight, buttocks are tight. So you're going to feel like your entire body is tense. And then when you're, you want to tense your arms, shoulders back and down, and pulling downward on your fingertips toward the ground. By the way, I wanted to say, I'm going to, in the Eventbrite page, on the online Eventbrite page, I can send you guys an email and I can actually add content in there. So I will add a bunch of documents on that I can find that'll help you understand, like the 49 fires and, you know, prana and the secret switch. I have documents I'll put in there for you so that you can learn, you know, learn on your own. It's just, there's so much information. I only, you know, even in a 2-hour thing, it's an hour and 45 minutes. It's still a lot. So
Jody, just real quick.
Yeah.
So will you be sending instructions with that just as reminders? Because I'm trying to get it down on paper, but
yes, yes, I'll send you instructions. I'll send you a video that you can actually just turn on and go right along with also. I'll put together as much as I can. And then if there's something that you feel is missing, you can let me know and I'll try to get that for you too.
thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. I just want to give you as much as you need so you can be, you know, be present here today and not worry about writing all the notes down and stuff, because it is a lot. So shoulders back and down, tighten everything. Legs are really tight. And over time, you're going to even get more tight in your body as you do this. Pulling downward on the fingertips. So you feel that sensation where you're kind of lifting up through the head, but then pulling down toward the ground. Okay. So it's this kind of simultaneous sensation of thinking upward and also downward. Okay. And then this one is super easy. All it is just exhaling to make space, breathing all the way in and just holding our breath while we're holding our tension. And then when we exhale, this is the tricky part in the beginning too, is you want to hold that tension while you're exhaling. Usually the body, even after 14 years, sometimes the body wants to relax when you're going, but don't. You want to, and then take a little breath and then relax right down. Sometimes I get so tense after all these years, I have to unlock my knees deliberately so that my body can relax. So just, again, the importance of the tension, equally important relaxing on the other side so everything can move and flow. Okay, so the revitalizing breath, here we go. This is the second breath, pulling downward. And now we pull that secret switch, placing the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And now the thought, I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. And now together we exhale. Now breathing in all the way into the belly, into the chest, upper chest, big sniff, and holding it, pulling downward, keeping that tension. I am the master of my body. I am the master of my body. And now no dropping of the head or the neck. Together we exhale. And now relaxing right down, keeping your eyes closed, feeling after, relaxing completely, coming right down as we think of and we feel for the hidden meaning, the inner meaning of these sublimely simple words. I am whole. Nothing is lacking. Nothing can be added. I am whole. I am perfect. Perfect as the Father in heaven within me is perfect. I am perfect. I am strong. I am strength in action. I am strong. I am powerful, full of power. Every single cell in my body is a power plant working for me. I am powerful, full of power. I am loving. I am the substance of the universe in action. I am love, moving. I am loving. I am harmonious, in harmony, balance, poise, equilibrium. I am in harmony with the laws of this universe. I am harmonious. I am rich, rich in the many senses of the word. I draw my supply from the source of all supply. I am rich. I am young, young. I am life's first reflection. I am youth, and I imagine innumerable streams of living light coursing downward in my body. I am young. I am happy. I'm happy. I am the force that propels the fluids of life. I am happy, not just thinking I'm happy, but feeling happy all over. If I cannot feel happy, I deliberately laugh and feel the changed emotional effect within me. I am happy. And so looking upward toward the top of my head, feeling happy, feeling heavy, giving thanks outward, imagining that great golden flower of light going out in all directions. Slowly, I take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh. I lock it up, I swallow, I make it my own. And now I take a little breath and a quick sigh, and I wake up quietly. Okay. Any questions on that breath?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So the third breath we're going to get right into, it's called the inspirational breath. I'm going to demonstrate this one. Same positioning as the others, pulling downward. When we're inhaling on the third breath, the inspirational breath, we're going to be slowly inhaling. And as we culminate the breath at the top here, we're going to put our right thumb under our left, and we make like this little triangle here, and like a triangle of manifestation. So usually at this moment, I take a brief pause and I say, success to mental physics, success to, whatever endeavors that I'm working on. And you can do this for yourself as well very quickly. And then backs of the hands together. The exhale is done in 4 parts. Keeping the tension, and then again, relaxing right down. Okay. The inspirational breath. Then we'll relax right down for the affirmation. So heels touching, shoulders back and down. Your head and neck is always loose. Try to keep the tension out of your neck. Pulling downward on your fingertips, thinking up to the top of your head. The inspirational breath. First, the thought. I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. And now pulling that secret switch, Together we exhale to get ready. Squeeze it all out. And now we're inhaling all the way in, raising the arms slowly. Inhaling all the way in, all the way up. Right thumb under the left. Success to mental physics. Success to you. Backs of the hands together. Exhaling in 4 parts. Now relaxing your body right down, remembering that the science of mental physics is a science of feeling, a science of the soul. So in this breath, we want to feel into the depths of our own being. Let us be silent and still together. Relaxing entirely, coming right down. The body is heavy. You are happy. You are relaxed. I thank thee, Lord, for my body, the temple of the living God, the temple of the God that lives within me, that is alive within me. My body, the transcendently beautiful and the infinitely intricate and the most gloriously accurate instrument in this entire universe. My body, the temple of the living God, the temple of the God that lives within me, I stand in reverence. I stand in adoration. I stand in veneration at the wisdom pent up in the very substance of my being. And I pledge myself, I vow that nothing that I shall do or say, nothing that I shall eat or drink, nothing shall injure or abuse this temple of the living God, my body. And so feeling happy, upward, giving thanks outward, slowly, gently, I take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh. Now I take another little breath and a quick sigh, and I wake up quietly. Okay, now we will feel free to just pop in between if you have any questions or comments or anything, and otherwise we'll keep going. So the 4th breath is called the perfection breath. And this is same position. We begin like this, and then we get ready with our arms out in front like this. And so while we're holding our breath in this 4th breath, the perfection breath, we're going to do 3 swings like this to make our body in the shape of a cross. Swing number 1, swing number 2, nice and gentle, just out to the side. Yep. Swing number 3, and then we'll do arms at the sides and exhale. All right. Here we go. Position, buttocks tight, knees snapped back. Everything is tight, spine is straight. Pulling down on those fingertips. And now we get ready, arms out in front. Pulling that secret switch. And now the thought, I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. Together we exhale. Now breathing all the way in, deep down into your belly first, upper chest, throat, big sniff. We get ready. Swing number 1, nice and easy. Swing number 2. Swing number 3. Arms at the sides. We exhale, keeping the tension. And then relaxing right down. Almighty and eternal fount of wisdom, grant us knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, that we speak here words of truth, love, and hope. We ask for light from the higher spheres, and may our guides guard and control our mind and tongue, so that nothing but the truth may here be given, and that the good seed sown may find fertile spots to live and grow. And anyone who is in darkness and obscurity, may they be brought forth into the radiant sunshine and the joyous glory of the unfoldment of true spiritual goodness. And now relaxing right down, relaxing entirely, preparing myself to think the greatest thought I shall ever be able to think. Whatever the Creator is, I am in human form, differentiated from all the other life forms in this universe. I am the Creator in human form. The Creator is right here, right in the heart of me, right in the mind of me, right in the being of me, right in the substance of me. Reveal thyself, O Lord of my life, Lord of the eternal, you who are the same yesterday, today, tomorrow, forever. Reveal yourself. I wait. I listen. I am still. I watch within me, and I will to see the Creator at work within the temple. Peace. 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 I will to see the Creator at work within my body temple. And so feeling happy, upward, giving thanks, and imagining that great golden shower of light going out in all directions. Slowly, ever so tenderly, I take a little breath and a long, sweeping sigh. I lock it up, I swallow. It is my own. As I take another little breath and a quick sigh, and I wake up quietly. All right, doing great. We're going to move into the 5th breath, the vibromagnetic breath, after which we'll do the affirmation, and then I'm going to lead you in the healing breath meditation right after that. So the 5th breath is, Dingle calls the first of the electrical breaths. Again, it's the same position. And when we're holding our air, we're going to be swinging our arms around 3 times with our palms facing each other. Swing number 1, swing number 2. So our arms go back and around. Swing number 3, nice and controlled, as far around as you can make them. And then we come back to the beginning and exhale and relax. Exactly. Okay, here we go. First, the thought. I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. And now remembering that secret switch, keeping the tension. Together we exhale, squeezing all that old air out, making space, breathing all the way in, forcing that air down into the belly, all the way in, all the way up, big sniff. And swing number 1, swing number 2, swing number 3, arms at the sides, we exhale. And now relaxing right down, relaxing the whole body, coming right down. That liquid feeling in the body, as if innumerable streams of living light are coursing downward in my body. As I prepare myself to think of the loveliest thing I have ever known. The loveliest thing I have ever known. There it comes before my mind. That beautiful picture, perhaps from the long ago, perhaps from the far away. But there it stands, perfectly, clearly delineated before my mind, as if it happened but a moment ago. I thank thee, Lord. I thank thee, law, for my memory. I thank you that I'm able to bring back from the vault of the past any beautiful thing that is in my memory. No idea of negation of whatsoever kind. No idea of disease or old age or senility or death or disappointment. Nothing shall enter my memory, but that which is in unison with all good and my own very highest conception of truth. And now I will that that picture shall be lost again in the absorption of my being. I see the whole conduct of man. I see my whole conduct. And so that loveliest thing that I have ever known shall be lost again in the absorption of my being. And so feeling happy, imagining that I'm looking upward to the top of my head and giving thanks outward, giving thanks. I take a little breath and a long, sweeping sigh. And now I lock it up, I swallow as I take another little breath and a quick sigh, and I sit down quietly. And now for the healing breath meditation. In this meditation, simply follow my voice and attempt to feel into the words. You're feeling after it, relaxing yourself completely, coming right down while the wisdom makes itself known to you. And now I am thinking out through the right side of my head. I'm thinking of my right-hand neighbor. I'm feeling out through the right side of my head. There it comes. that beautiful sensation taking me away to the right, to the right, to the right. It seems as if I'm on a cloud going out endlessly through space, to the right, to the right. It seems as if I am on the bosom of a great billow, going out endlessly across a far outstretching sea, to the right, to the right, to the right. I am developing prana in the positive center of my willpower. I'm developing the life current within me in the positive center of my willpower. I am developing the current of life within me. I am developing the current of the universe within me. I am developing the spirit of the current of the universe within me in the positive center of my willpower. I feel a pushing sensation out through the right side of my head, and it grows a little faster, a little smoother, a little deeper, taking me away to the right, to the right. I am developing prana in the positive center of my willpower. And now I reverse the current and I am feeling away to the left, to the left, to the left. There it comes, that beautiful sensation taking me away to the left. Seems to grow a little faster, a little smoother, a little deeper. I am developing prana in the negative center of my willpower. I am developing the life current within me. I'm developing the current of the universe within me. I am developing the spirit of the current of the universe within me in the negative center of my willpower, charging up my battery. And now I stop the current and I'm feeling downward, downward. And I imagine that great light at the top of my head. And it's coming down, down, down to the tips of my toes. And now up around again in front like a great wheel. And I'm bringing it down, down, down to the tips of my toes and up around again, circulating this light. The Creator is within me, looking out on the universe through my eyes, listening to the sounds of the universe through my ears, thinking the thoughts of the universe with my mind, issuing the sounds of the universe through my throat. Purify thou my throat. Doing the work of the universe through my hands. Whatever the Creator is, I am. I am perfect as He, as it. That which I feel within me is perfect. I am perfect mind and a perfect body. I am that I am. And now the body is in a liquid state, wheels within wheels, seeming to be going in all directions, but you, seated triumphantly in the center of your own being. Your mind is crystal clear. And now I bring that great light again to the top of my head. And with the power of my imagination, I spread it out as far as I can spread it. And then I bring it down with a slightly pressing sensation downward to be met with a slightly resisting sensation upward. I bring that light down, not missing one cell in the body, cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. And now I see my whole body full of light. And now I fan that living flame that brings the light, feeling upward to the top of my head, feeling happy, seeing that golden light going out in all directions, giving thanks. I take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh. I take another little breath and a quick sigh. And I wake up quietly. Okay. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we move on? Oh. Okay, great. We're going to move into the cleansing breath. This is the 6th breath, so we're getting there. This one is very much like the 5th breath, except instead of going around with our palms facing each other, we're going to go around with our palms facing downward. And this breath, the way that it begins is you want to take your left hand and hold it with your right. So your right hand on the bottom, pulling downward on straightening your arms. So that straightens your spine. And we begin like that. And so I'll say we get ready, we unlock, and then we go around like this 3 times. But when we go around to the back, we touch like this. We touch our thumbs together, kind of makes a little triangle back here. It's like an electrical discharge kind of thing. So we hold our left hand in our right, pulling our elbows straight so that our spine is straight. Unlock. We get ready. Swing number 1, touch like that. I'm just demonstrating here. Swing number 2, touch. Then 3 times. And then we exhale and are silent for the meditation. Okay, any questions about the cleansing breath? Breath number 6. Okay, here we go. Position, everything's tight, straight, strong. Straightening your body as tall as you can make it, thinking upward. And now position, right hand holds the left, straightening the elbows. I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. And now remembering your secret switch. Together we exhale and make room. Squeezing all the old stale air out. And now breathing all the way in, pushing that air down into your belly, chest, throat, big sniff. And we unlock, we get ready. Swing number 1, keeping the tension in your body, touching behind you. Swing number 2, touch. Swing number 3, touch. Arms at the sides. Exhale. Then slowly drop the arms, relaxing right down, feeling ourselves in the spirit together. Coming right down, relaxing entirely. And now I imagine a great heat at the base of my spine. I imagine that it's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming up. And I imagine that great light that comes from the flame, that comes from the fire, that gives the heat. And I see this light rising up, up, up my spine, and I see a peacock feather of gold, I imagine, in my spine, as I see this light coming up and out, up and out. It seems to strike upon the surface of my body. It seems to go beyond my body, up and out. And now I'm thinking at the top of my head, and I see my whole body full of light, full of light. The light of the divine wisdom that is in every living thing. And so, seeing my whole body full of light, the light of the divine wisdom in every living thing, feeling happy, imagining that I'm looking upward to the top of my head, giving thanks, imagining that great golden shower of light going out in all directions, the secret of the golden flower. Slowly, tenderly, I take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh. And now gratefully, reverently, I take another little breath and a quick sigh. And I wake up quietly. You guys are doing great. So this next breath, the 7th breath, is a little more involved. It's a two-part breath. Heels are touching. And this is the position for the next 2 breaths, the 7th and 8th. You want to rest your palms on your hip bones, like just below your ribs, resting on your hip bones, and then pull your elbows as far forward as you possibly can. Slightly awkward. And this breath is done in 2 parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, and as we are holding our breath, we're going to drop our head forward and back, forward and back. We do this 3 times, forward and back. And then we stand upright. We exhale all our air out. And then once there's no air in the body, we want to bring our whole body forward and back, kind of pulling downward on the head, forward and back. This one's a tricky one, so just monitor yourself if you're getting lightheaded. This one still gets me sometimes. So, and then once you're on your last swing and you're coming up, you're going to want a breath so bad. So, and then relax right down. The grand rejuvenation breath. Any questions on this one before we get into it?
So we hold our breath until that exhale. That's that last part.
Yes. So we're holding our breath on this part, and then we stand upright and exhale it all out. And then with 0 air in there, we do the 3 swings like this. So on that last swing, I mean, sometimes you're like ready to take a breath down here, like a gulp. So just like open your eyes or take a breath if you need to, because this one can really get cause lightheadedness and stuff like that. It's a bit tricky. Did that make sense, Janet? You understand about breathing when you're finally coming up on the last little bit there? Okay. All right, let's do this. So here we go. Position. Everything's tight still in this breath. Your elbows far forward. And now the thought. I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life, pulling that secret switch. Together we exhale. Squeeze it all out. And now breathing all the way in, deep down into the belly, all the way up, big sniff. We get ready. We drop the head forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. We stand upright. We exhale. And now we bring our whole body forward. No breathing. And back, forward, back, pulling downward on the head, forward. We stand upright, we inhale, and we slowly drop the hands, relaxing right down. Relaxing, feeling heavy. I am happy. I feel heavy all over. I am youth. I am youth. I see before me that picture of my idealized self. I see my luxuriant hair, those sparkling eyes, that beautiful, beautiful face, unlined and happy. Rounded neck, strong arms and hands. And now I come down over that beautiful being. And I thank thee, Lord. I thank thee for the truth of my being. I am youth. Glorious, radiant, wondrous youth. Vibrant, vivacious youth. Fearless youth. Full of courage, strength, power. I am youth, unconquerable youth. Conquering, fearless youth. I thought my body wore out and grew old like an old pair of shoes, but now I know, as I stand gratefully in the presence, that new cells are being made for me. I'm being renewed. I sing and I shout. I sing the song of conquest. There is no age for me. No decay, no disease, no senility, no death. Nothing. I am free, free forevermore, free from all negation of my own mind, free from old age. I am youth, youth forevermore. And so I will to know the truth of my own being. I am youth. And so feeling happy, imagining that I'm looking upward to the top of my head, giving thanks outward, sending that light out in all directions. I take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh, and I lock it up as I take another little breath and I wake up younger. All right. The eighth and final breath of the 8 key breaths here. Again, I mentioned there are lots of others as you go along in the curriculum, but these are the main foundation for spiritual unfoldment. And this last one is called your own spiritual breath. And so Dingle May always asks us to enter upon this breath, actually all the breaths, with a deep reverential attitude of mind. And I always think of what he says about from the first breath of the newborn baby to the last gasp of the dying man, life is a series of breaths. So it makes sense to me to honor and revere each breath of life that we have, right? With the breath without which there is no life. So I always think of that pretty profoundly. And I always think of people all around the world, no matter what race or religion or anything, we're breathing the same breath of life. We're all connected in that way. So, and we can feel ourselves connected in the spirit when we're connected and grateful for that breath of life that keeps us all alive without us even having to think about it. So it actually is pretty profound when you do start to think about it, start to honor it and acknowledge it within yourself. It really takes on a new meaning. All right, so the spirit, your own spiritual breath. This is the only one done with the feet apart, like hip width apart. And it's the same position as the seventh with the elbows pulled forward like this. And when we are holding our air, so we're breathing all of it in, holding it, and then we're going to go to the right. And I don't know if you can see, but my left heel lifts off the ground when I'm leaning to the right. And then when I lean to the left, my right heel picks up off the ground. My toes stay connected. To the right, to the left. So we do 3 on each side. To the right, to the left, just like that. Okay. Any questions before we do this 8th breath? All right. Here we go. Elbows forward, feeling centered in your own body, thinking upward, giving thanks. First, the thought. I thank thee, Lord, for the breath of my life. And now pulling that secret switch, together we exhale. Now breathing in all the way deep down into your belly, middle chest, throat, big sniff. We get ready. To the right, to the left, lifting up your heel. To the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. We stand center, we exhale. And then we slowly drop the hands as we're thinking upward to the top of our head, thinking joy, joy, joy. And now together, we send it out. We embrace all classes around the world, wherever they may be. We embrace all in mental physics all around the world. I embrace my city. I embrace my state. Now I see those waves of light rolling out of their own nature. I embrace the country. I embrace the whole world. I embrace the whole human race. And now, with the light of the divine wisdom within me, with my love, with my joy, with my life, I embrace every living thing. And now, I stand fast, lest the light be too great for me as it returns to me by that mystic fourfold law, not from the one point from which I sent it, but from all the points. It's coming back, nearer, nearer. And now it embraces me. It overwhelms me, that light of the divine wisdom. that love, that joy, that life that comes to me from every living thing, so that I know my whole body, this wide universe, to be full of light. And now I will charge every cell of my physical body with that light of the divine wisdom, that love, that joy, that life that comes to me from every living thing. As feeling happy, thinking upward toward the top of my head, giving thanks, the secret of the golden flower, sending it out. Slowly take a little breath and a long, deep, sweeping sigh. And now I take another little breath and a quick sigh, and I sit down in peace. We have about 7 minutes left before we're going to take just like a quick break. And then if you want to hop on and go straight through the breaths with us, you can. Otherwise, maybe just absorb this and then hop on anytime you can on Wednesday. I just wanted to do a couple more things. I wanted to teach you quickly the creative manifestation breath. This is a breath I use when I really would like to bring something in to my reality. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm realizing I don't do it as often as I should. But I did do it when I entered the Ellen DeGeneres Mother's Day giveaway show, and I imagined myself winning, and I did win that, like $10,000 worth of stuff. So I know that it works, because everything I've tried it for, it comes rolling in. So be very careful what you're asking for. Make sure it's something you really want. And I'm just going to demonstrate this quickly for time's sake, and then this is something you can try on your own. But this is where you want to get really still and quiet in a meditative state. And then out in front of you, you can imagine like a black TV screen, like a big black screen, or let's say like a whiteboard, whatever your imagination can create for you that makes it the most real. And so you want to spend a good amount of time getting your vision. And it literally could be anything. Like I've had people who are having challenges in communication with other people, or like someone that was going to court for something. And then I encourage them to just play out the conversation in the most ideal way they could imagine it, right? So you can imagine what you would say and how the person would respond and this and that and the other. Now, it's not used to control, we can't control other people, but we are the creator of our own world. We have, the whole power of the divine and the universe within us to create. So use the creative word wisely is what Dingle says when you're doing this breath. Get your picture out in front of you. It could be a material item. Like I said, it could be a conversation. It could be anything that you're wanting to bring into your reality. You might see your idealized body or something that like that you want to bring in. When you're clear on the picture, when you feel it in you, when you see it so strongly, you reach your hands out and you grab a hold of that image. And then as you're breathing in, you want to time your breath so that the culmination of the breath is when you get all the way back here and you're pulling your fists under your armpits. It feels slightly awkward. You can see how I'm like way back here. So you breathe it in and then relax. And then you set your arms out again and you get your clear vision again. You breathe it in You make it part of you. You are merging the electrons of your vision with yourself. You are bringing it into your reality. And I just remember my teachers talking about needing to pull it all the way back under the armpits for some reason. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. I'll see if I can find, I'm sure in the work somewhere it states it. I just don't know it offhand. So that's just one thing I wanted to teach you, so you could practice that on your own and then report back at the amazing things that you manifest. And then before we go, as I mentioned, knowing that we build into our consciousness the things that we declare, those things that we state and declare out loud. Repeat after me in firm, positive tones. And since Science of Mental Physics is a science of feeling, feel into these words, each of these words that I'm going to say. I am eternal life. I am eternal love. I am truth. I am peace, and peace dwells in me. And then there's a position for this one. I am power, palms facing downward. I am wisdom. I am justice. I am that I am. I give thanks for all that ever was. I give thanks for all that is. And I give thanks for all that ever will be. I question not the divine love, palms upward, wisdom, and justice. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be blissful. And may all beings be happy. And then this is the sevenfold peace chant of the Essenes that I usually like to end my classes with, which is holding down negative energy, generating positive energy over here. So it's like peace. 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 Any questions or comments about anything before we go? We're just gonna.
Well, Jody, I just have to say you have found your soul's purpose. Just listening to you is just so relaxing, and I just go to this place of calmness and tranquility, and I'm emotional right now because I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Oh, Janet, thank you for being here. Thank you for saying that. Mindy, fortunately, I've been doing this for so many years and trying to keep it alive in the world, in my corner of the world. And I wanted to quit several times, but I just keep going, because I do feel it's important for people right now to know how powerful we are within ourselves, and to know that we are divine love. We are, and our imagination is so powerful too. Like, once you start to create things, and I like to call it the art of deliberate creation, because it is an art and a practice to learn how to hone your visions and your words and your thoughts to bring in the desired outcome. But once you start to do that and you start seeing things that you have imagined come into your reality, no one's going to tell you otherwise, you know? So I'm at this place where I'm coming from a place of knowing, you know, and I get excited for new people who are willing to learn this. And, you know, it's the languaging might be a bit antiquated, but I really do try to stick with exactly the way that it was taught, because there's a reason that it's been passed down for thousands of years from mouth to ear, from master to student. So that's why I've kind of just focused on mainly teaching this little chunk of it for now, because I just want to teach it the way that it's meant. And then, you know, if it interests you, there's further study, and I'm going to send you a lot of things to look at too, just for your own, you know, just to read about and see what it activates in you. But Janet, I really appreciate you joining the class. And you said you were emotional. I did want to bring up, if I didn't already, that it could bring up stuff because you're jostling some stuff around in there. So just let it come up and out. It's wanting to be looked at and released, whatever is arising, you know. And we would love for you to hop on anytime you want and practice with us. And Mindy, if you're interested, Mindy can add you to her WhatsApp group that's just like a spontaneous group that she gets on and practices with people. So
absolutely. And I definitely want to join on Wednesdays. I'm going to put it on my calendar.
cool.
So is it the same Zoom information?
Actually, no, it isn't. It is not. I'm going to send it to you right now. It would be so much easier if I just made it all the same Zooms, but I do different things, so I have to keep them straight in my own mind here. Let me stick this in the chat, and then you can always reach out to me too. There you go. So that's the link, and then the password is wellness. And any other feelings? Like, do you feel better in your body? Did you have any awarenesses that came to mind or anything, or just?
I feel so peaceful. Awesome. And yeah, I felt like, hold on, I'm just trying to get this number down just in case, because I'm not really good about writing this. Okay, so 885-583-12139. Okay, and then the password is at that. Okay, wellness. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and I can set. You can reach out to me anywhere, Facebook or whatever, and I can send you the information. And I need to get better at advertising more about the breath class and stuff. I forget.
I think. Well, I was going to ask you, and we can talk about this another time. But are you going to be in the celebration, the Unstoppable celebration? Do you have time for that?
When is that?
June 1st and 2nd.
Oh, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. That's so interesting. I was actually going to do the Global Healers Summit that we did 2 years ago with a couple other people, get that going. And we had chosen June 1st through the 3rd. And then we just changed it yesterday. So that's like the online Siddha Veda community that we're getting together. Yes, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to write that down right now.
And it's also the 2nd anniversary of the book.
Has it been 2 years? Oh, it's so crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I heard, and I'm like, is it really that? I mean, it's possible, because I joined in August of 2020.
Yeah, and I think I found him. Clint was in one of the Zooms, the legendary Zooms, in June, right after his book just got published, like a week before. And I got involved in all that. So isn't it fantastic? I'm actually on day 20 of my mung bean soup cleanse right now. This is my second time around.
Got another one. I'm going to start one soon again. So
I can't plan it out. Like, I'm not the kind of person, I just know in my mind I'm going to do it. And I start eating the soup to prepare myself. And then all of a sudden one day it'll just be like, now you can do it. And I just start it that day and then just keep going as long as I can do it.
Do you just do the soup, or are you doing the herbs too?
The herbs too. Yes. Yeah. I've been taking herbs for 2 years now, and it's it just makes me feel so peaceful.
But do you do the detox herbs when you're doing
Yeah, I do the
the
detox herbs.
Yeah,
This
because
is,
that's pretty invasive, but it's so good.
yeah.
The
Have
first
you
thing I
tried it?
notice is oh yeah, I've done it. I've done it once, the full 28 days,
Yeah.
and then I did one that was basically just the mung soup for 28 days, and then now I'm gonna do it again with the herbs, because one thing I noticed right away is my face gets so much more radiant, and it's like right away I
I
notice
know,
it.
it's so amazing, isn't it? It's like, it's almost like when women are pregnant and they have that
Mhm,
look
mhm,
about them. It's
mhm.
in the people that I've seen who are regularly eating that way. I mean, they look translucent almost, It's the same thing with the breath work. Like Dingle taught a bunch of people that were, well into their 90s, and they looked cherubic. They didn't have any wrinkles on their face or anything. They looked almost translucent. These were regular people that would practice, and so, going off the evidence, we can say that these things do work. It's important to take care of our body temple. I've struggled with it my whole life, up and down. I mean, I did the mung bean soup cleanse, and then I went off the deep end after that. I was feeling amazing, and then I went back and ate pizza and whatever else I wanted. And then recently I said, oh, I gotta just start again. Just start again. And no need to beat up on yourself. Just pick
Yep,
yourself up and start over,
yep,
at
yep,
any
yep.
point. So yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, I really, really love the herbs and all the Marma points I've been doing regularly. And the Forgive and Forget Marma has really brought up a lot of stuff for me to look at. So all these ancient tools have been around for so long because they work. It's just simple, you know?
Yep,
And I always
totally
feel
believe.
they do. And I just feel fortunate that we're able to find them, you know?
Yeah, and that they're being brought, and like by people like you're spreading it. So thank you so much for that.
Well,
I
thank you.
really do feel so much peace. I want to take a nap. Is that normal?
Yeah. There's no right or wrong. You should actually absolutely take a nap. If you can take a nap, I would definitely rest and let all that work all that prana circulate around in your system. And, it's just helpful. Like, even if you're not feeling well or something, I hear, after practicing this so long, like I'll hear in my mind, every cell in my body is a power plant working for me. It's just like you hear these little tidbits after so long. That's kind of like what Mindy's talking about, is they're in there. They become a part of you, a part of your life. And they come in there when you need them. It would be like reading the Bible and having Bible passages that get deeper and deeper over the years. Their meaning becomes a part, or any of the holy books of the world, whatever people study. It just, one time in your life, you could look at it in a certain way. And then as you evolve, it becomes even deeper of an understanding, so.
Mindy's eating her soup.
Good girl, Mind.
Yeah, that's medicine. That's like medicine to me. It's just
It
every
is.
time I eat something, because it's such an anti-inflammatory.
It's truly amazing.
Yeah, at the natural grocers, there's this lady. I was asking her for a big pound of mung bean soup because they only sell it like sprouted mung bean soup, and it's only an 8-ounce bag. And I was telling her, I was like, that's not enough. I was like, you need like a bulk bag, and they're just out of them right when I was there. But I got to talking about like mung bean soup with her, and I'm gonna write her down. I'm actually gonna go to the store right now, so I'm like really hoping she's working today, because I was gonna just get a little Tupperware and like bring her some and write down the recipe for her, because it's so good.
Oh, you know what? Last night I had so much fun when I made my soup. I made a little TikTok video, like 45 seconds, how to make the soup.
What's
it.
your TikTok? I don't know how to look it up.
Yeah, I just, and I don't do it that often, but it's just my daughter like teaches me how to make these videos on there. And I posted it on the Global Healers page. And,
Okay.
but I'll see if I can I'll send it to you as soon as I get off, but I need to run to the restroom and then get back to turn on the class here. So,
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I
thank
appreciate
you,
you.
Janet.
I'm not going to join you for the rest of the time. That was a lot for me.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I
It's
need
a
to
lot.
process this and just kind of
Absolutely.
integrate it all, but I will definitely put it on my calendar, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm always here if you have questions or anything arises, you want to
I
talk
know.
about it.
You're
I'm
very
available.
good. I know that. I appreciate you.
I
It was
appreciate
nice to see you again, Mindy.
You
Nice.
too.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm leaving then.
Bye, ladies. And
Bye-bye.
whoever
Thank
the other
you.
person is in here, thank you so much for attending. Bye, guys.